Alrighty, what is up everybody? It is your boy Farai. Thank you once again for tuning into another video. Today we're going to be mixing some beautiful Plugg style vocals. We're going to be remixing a track from hdami. I think the song sounds really cool. I've had it on my playlist. But nonetheless, man, I'm going to break down the vocals we mixed on the track. Definitely check the preset in the description. Let's hop straight into it.
My team always eating, man, we do not fan, man.
Yeah, she all on my dick cause she said she a fan. Gunning the bands, you know I'm the man. Rolling these grams, I'm making a plan. My double cup pulled up, yeah, RIPM. I roll up her back with a mix it with Keith. Then call out my shawty, that girl is a freak. Yeah, I'm out in Paris at Fashion Week. We get so geek, we cannot speak. I'm going foreign, drinking champagne. I'm in the cup, but she know my name. She fuck with a squad, she fuck with a gang. When I'm in the booth, I'm going insane. Came out the gutter, they don't know my pain. Being glowed up, but I'm still the same. Pussy at boy, but it stay on lane. Saw me in public and we took his chain.
No, I can't fuck with no buster, nigga.
Alrighty, so there you go, man. Really what we're trying to do, especially with these more R&B style Plugg beats, is we're trying to get that vocal to sit in the beat, make it sound beautiful. You know, obviously these beats have a lot of pianos and chords. We don't want to interfere with that. We want it to sit on top, sound smooth, and that's what we're going to be focusing on. So yeah, man, let's get straight into it. We'll focus on the main vocal chain for this video. I'll do a different video on the kind of Plugg ad-libs and things like that. Alright, so starting off with the vocal chain, you see we've got the auto-tune right here. I'm always using 8.1. Again, you can use EFX, whatever you like. You could even use the stock picture. It doesn't matter as long as you sing into it. Probably wouldn't have the format on. But, you know, you sing into it, you make it sound good. And for this style of music, I'm not really going to go too crazy. Again, since I've been using this auto-tune so long, I am able to kind of, you know, make it sound good without stretching it too much, right? We want to use it as a stylistic effect. I think of auto-tune almost as like a flange effect or something. But yeah, there you go, man. Bit of noise gate. I like to get rid of some of the noise in all vocals. I don't want, you know, those little bits of like hiss in the microphone. All microphones will have them. So you want to keep that at a minimum. I'm using the Waves NS1. You could use free noise gate, doesn't matter. I do have a noise gate video actually, so check that out. So, you know, if you know my template format, all green channels are going to be where we're going to be recording into. So as you can see, you essentially have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vocal chains, right? Different ones, background vocals, ad-libs, etc., etc. But those all get sent into different channels, either the vocal bus or the vocal chain for the main vocal. And that's where we send the main vocals into this vocal chain, and that's where we do the most of the processing. Okay, so first things first, man, we'll play the vocal without any effects on them, so you can really hear the difference. You can really hear how I've treated the vocals, what I've wanted to treat, and how we've got to the final result. Just run into there, right there.
Yeah, she all on my dick cause she said she a fan. Gunning the bands, you know I'm the man. Rolling these grams.
So you can hear everything's there for the vocal, but it's just not treated. It doesn't have that kind of, you know, Plugg smoothness to it, right? So we turn that on.
Yeah, she all on my dick cause she said she a fan. Gunning the bands, you know I'm the man. Rolling these grams, I'm making a plan. My double cup pulled up, yeah, RIPM. I roll up her back with a mix it with Keith. Then call out my shawty, that girl is a freak. Yeah, I'm out.
So you can definitely hear it by freak. It's almost like it smooths over, right? We want to get that style of vocal mixing going. We want to treat that low end midiness. One thing I sometimes listen on SoundCloud, and it's either, you know, the tracks have cut all the low end out, or they've got too much low end. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. So first things first, man. Always going to be running the Farai's vocal enhancer. You can check this out in the description. This is a stock preset for FL Studio. It comes with many different settings. So you can see right here we've got the where is it now? Oh, right there, right? So we got the 2021 update, and it's got a whole bunch of presets. I added some bonus ones as well. So you got like, you know, 21 presets or something like that. And it sounds good, right? So, you know, all I do with this is I get a little bit of tube drive going because I want that kind of little bit of distortion going on to the vocals. So it kind of cuts to the mix. You know, I'm reducing the treble a little bit. I think it sounds really cool with this style of music. Get rid of some of that mud just to kind of bass the vocal a little bit, boost the air, right? So important. Again, I'm adding this preset or this plugin last. Okay, so I'm mixing the track first, then I turn it on and I set the final volume, and then that kind of, you know, gives me an idea of if the vocal chain sounds good or not. So try it out. It sounds amazing. You can record with it. It's low latency. It's got a cool SSL style EQ. It's beautiful. All right, and we've got a little bit of flanger and reverb going on just to kind of give you that kind of more professional sounding, smoother vocal. So there you go. Second to that, man, I wanted a little bit more kind of console emulation going on, especially with this type of music, with the Rhodes. I want the vocal to really sit in the mix. And I was deciding between these two. Both of these are API style plugins. So as you can see right here, we've got this Transactor, which is a free plugin, so you can definitely check it out. But I'm using setting 4 which is op amp transformer. Now, for those who know a little bit about gear and the internals of gear, API will usually have an op amp in it with the transformer in it. So this is kind of an API style. Again, this LANDR plugin is obviously emulating an API, and all you need to know about this style of saturation that we're doing is that it just really smoothens out the vocal, and it kind of brightens up the top end. It gives you a little bit of mid poke as well, and I think that sounds really good for this style of music. So definitely try it out. If you're using the free one, just turn up the input, and then you're going to get a little bit more kind of brightness and smoothness added to your vocal. So check it out, really cool. So as you can see, all of these kind of dark blue plugins are saturation style plugins, kind of console mixing and analog emulation stuff. But from then on out, we get into the real mixing, right? So for this track, I wanted to use I usually use an SSL EQ, but I'm using this AMEC EQ, which is kind of like a Neve EQ, but it just really sounds smooth and pristine, and that's really what I want to get out of this mix. So what I'm doing again is high passing at about, let me just see where we're at, 40 hertz, really not high passing much, right? I don't want to kill off the bass from the vocal. I want it to sound natural and smooth. But where we start dealing with the kind of bass roll off is around 200 and 200 again, still keeping it SSL style for those who watch the videos. I'm just reducing some of that bass, okay? Basically just kind of easing that bass so it fits in with the beat. You got a lot of 808s with Plugg music, you don't want them to clash, right? And then I'm just poking out frequencies that I like, again around 8,000. I think it's a bit different with this console, but it sounds good. It's really simple. I'm really not compressing much, if you see what's going on here.
Yeah, she all on my dick cause she said she a fan. Counting the bands, I'm a man. Rolling these grams, I'm making a plan. My double cup pulled up, yeah, RIPM. I roll up a back with a mix it with Keith.
It's really cool, gives it that kind of smoothness, right? So there you go. After that, again, if you watched my previous video, definitely check it out if you haven't. I'm not going to talk about it too much. We're just de-essing at 16K, and if you really want to pay attention, right, this is a good example for those who watched the last video. Just pay attention to where the de-ess actually kicks in.
Rolling these grams, I'm making a plan. My double cup pulled up, yeah, RIPM. I roll up a back with a mix it with Keith. Then call out my shawty, that girl is a freak. Yeah, I'm out in Paris at Fashion Week. We get so geek, we cannot speak. I'm going foreign, drinking champagne.
Can you see how the de-ess is almost selectively choosing certain words, right? That's that 16K trick right there, right? It's freak, wherever else there was a S sound, right? Or anything like that, it's just going to deal with it, and it's only going to deal with that. It's not going to overdo the vocal, right? And this is why I like setting my de-ess at 16K, because it just smoothens out the vocal. That's what we're kind of working on with this track. But yeah, man, there you go. Again, EQ, I know the new FL comes with, maybe it comes with the dynamic EQ, I don't know. But you can download the TDR Nova. It will be available in the FreeBSD version. But all we're really doing is using a dynamic EQ to kind of dip everything around 520 hertz and below, so you can see whenever things get a bit crazy, this EQ actually just pulls the volume down. So just check that out.
Rolling these grams, I'm making a plan. My double cup pulled up, yeah, RIPM. I roll up a back with a mix it with Keith. Then call out my shawty, that girl is a freak. Yeah.
So as you can see right there, it's just kind of doing its thing. And again, I'm selectively choosing out frequencies I don't like. I did really like the recording this time around, so I didn't need to do too much. The beautiful thing about Plugg style vocals is that, you don't have to go too crazy on EQ to make it sound good. You just need to deal with what you need to deal with, which is really that low mid bass area, that compression, which we'll talk about, and then that top end. And as you can see, it's beautiful, man. Just a little cut at 3.8, and then a little bit of a treble boost at like 14, 15K, just to really ease up that vocal and just kind of pull out that saturation that we created earlier on. And yeah, it's simple, man. Over here with the light blue channels, we've got two compressors stacked up from Waves. We're going to be using some Waves compressors now. Now it's pretty simple. I'm using an RVox just to create a little bit of tension in the vocal, just kind of squeeze it a little bit. This really helps to pull vocals up front in the mix. So if you are looking for a compressor pack, I highly recommend checking this out. I'm pretty sure the RVox comes with the Waves Gold bundle as well, so it's a no-brainer. These days you can get the Waves Gold bundle for under like $80 sometimes. Back in the day, I might have told the story before, but Waves Gold bundle was like $500, so you're definitely getting a steal. You get like 30, 40, 50 plugins, right? So definitely check it out. But nonetheless, with the RVox, I do a little trick where I basically just compress it a set amount as much as I want. I don't really go over 4. It starts to sound a bit too crazy, and kind of it undetails the vocal in a way. So I go about -2.5, and then I set the gain roundabout to the same place as where the compressor was. So that way I leave the plugin without having the level increase, right? But I gain this nice compression. It squeezes the vocal a little bit, makes it a little bit softer because obviously we're compressing. But that's what I like to do, man, and it sounds good. From then on out, I run it into a battery compressor. Now, the R compressor is my go-to compressor if I want some nice, quick, smooth, buttery compression. And I'm using it in the opto mode, which is like LA2A. Basically, it's just gonna make it sound smooth. So if I turn off these two, and as you can see, the ends of words don't sound too good. They sound kind of like all over the place. But once we have this enabled, I'll turn the RVox on first. I'm making a plan. My double cup poured up, yeah, RIPM. I roll up a back with a mix it with Keith. Then call out my shawty, that girl is a freak. Yeah, I'm out in Paris at Fashion Week. Right, that creates the energy, that gives it that extra energy, pulls out all the softer elements in the mix, and then this just tames that whole sound. I'm making a plan. My double cup poured up, yeah, RIPM. I roll up a... And that really allows the vocal to kind of just sit under the loudest parts of the beat, right? We don't want the vocal to be too loud in the mix. We want those hi-hats to be able to be all splashy and cool. You know, Plugg beats always got beautiful hi-hats, right? We want the piano to be tame. We don't want the vocal to kind of pop out too much. So this is how we do that, simple and sweet. After that, with these yellow plugins, I have the air flanger set, and it's just widening the vocal up a little bit, kind of simple and sweet, right? But we also have the F3000 enabled here, which is another plugin we make. You can check it out in the description. But it is really just an effects box, right? It's got all sorts of cool presets, and this time around I'm pretty sure I'm using the vintage room, because we actually have a preset that we've used over here, right? So I wanted to kind of emphasize that even more. So we've got that just kind of tucked in the mix. But yeah, sounds really good. You should check it out. Link in the description. Again, you could use the F3000 as a send effect as well. Obviously, because I've got an analog one, I don't need to use that. But yeah, you get the idea, right? But yeah, that's pretty much how we would really mix our Plugg style vocals. You know, we're not trying to make it sound too crazy. The last thing you want to do is pull out all of the low end and boost the treble, right? That's what most people are doing, and it doesn't sound good. Okay, if you've got a preset that's kind of dipping out, you know, 8 dB of low end, it's not going to sound too good, right? So you want to make sure that things are sounding balanced for those, you know, 2022, 2023 Plugg style mixes. But nonetheless, man, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Definitely check out the courses below, vocal mixing course, vocal recording course, and you know, up your game as a mixer, as a recordist. You know what I mean? Get those great sounding recordings so that you can mix your stuff easily. These presets just sound so much better when you've got the knowledge behind you. But nonetheless, man, I'll check you out. Peace out.